Buongiorno. Welcome to Pasta My Heart. I'm Brenda, and today I want to share with you some ways to preserve basil. Now, I have a huge Italian garden in my backyard, and this past weekend, in between rain showers, I went outside to harvest some of my basil. It's Genovese basil, very common, great to be used in anything that you cook, especially pestos and salsas. Oh, I love basil. So we have some Genovese basil, and I want to preserve it today for future use. So this winter, when I want to make a pesto and I need fresh basil, or maybe I want to put it in some sauces to use with my homemade from scratch pastas, or how about when I'm cooking some stews and some soups, some comfort food. Either way, I want to use fresh basil in the winter, and I definitely don't want to buy it from a grocery store. So we're going to take our basil, and yesterday, what I did was after I got it in, I took off the large stems and I washed it. And then I drained it, of course, but I laid it out because you want it to be fairly dry. So we're going to use our blender. We're going to take our basil. We're going to get it in our blender. You don't want to do a whole lot. Now, I'm using a blender because I still want chunks. I don't want it pureed. I want it to be where I can see the bits and pieces of the basil. So I'm going to use about half of what I've got here. So I've got my basil in my blender, and we're going to add some olive oil. There isn't an exact measurement. What you want to do is add just enough to get your blender to work. So we're going to add, we're going to add our olive oil. I'm just going to add a little at a time because I don't want it to be really super oily. Let's add a little olive oil. Now, there isn't an exact measurement because we just want it to have enough to work. Ah, beautiful. So you probably can't see this, but I'll hold it up a little bit. That's the consistency we want. So now we're going to take our ice cube trays, and I love the ice cube trays that have the lids on them. We're going to get my mixture out. We're going to pack it into our ice cube trays all the way full. So these are about the equivalent of about a tablespoon. And if you have the occasional big leaf, it's okay. There's no rhyme or reason to what size you want. Whatever you're using it in, it works in well. You just got to remember that when you throw it in there from the freezer, you've got olive oil in the midst of all of this. So I'm going to finish getting all these filled, and then I'll be back with you in just a moment. Okay, so we've got just about a whole tray out of the majority of what we had, right? And I'm going to add to it. So I'm going to stick this one in the freezer, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this. So there's our first tray. Now my second tray, I have two different colors. I'm going to take my basil, and I'm going to rip it up into bigger pieces. So we're just going to tear it up into chunkier pieces. I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. There's no rhyme or reason. Again, it's what you envision this to be used as. So like for me, so what I would use this kind, torn up basil, if I was doing tomatoes, mozzarella, basil, or caprese salad, anything like that, that I wanted to have bigger chunks in there, bigger leaves. Now we will use the same method as far as I'm going to drizzle this with some olive oil. We're going to put it in our ice trays. We're going to pack it down. The only thing I'm going to do different this time is I won't have my olive oil mixed, like I'm not going to mix it in this bowl. What I'm going to do is just drizzle it on top. I don't know about you, but in the wintertime, I crave things that we can have in the summer. And there is just being able to take what you grow and process it to be used later on for you, your family, your friends. To me, that is the ultimate gift that you can share with people. Okay, so just so you can see what I mean by bigger chunks. Okay, I'm going to show you this. Let's pack these down in some trays. Getting it all pressed in there. Just making sure these are packed good. Now these are the blue trays, I think, are a little bit deeper than the light blue ones. I'm going to try to get every little crumb out of here. Now that we've got all our leaves pressed down in here, can y'all see that? Nothing fancy. I'm going to take my olive oil. You don't want to stick it in the freezer like this. It'll turn black. I'm going to fill each one of these little ice trays up with some olive oil. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure you have a good quality olive oil. You really do. Don't go cheap on the olive oil. Olive oil wasn't cheap to begin with, but don't go cheap on the quality to save $1 or $2. It's worth the investment if you want good tasting, good quality food for yourself, your family, healthier eating, whatever that looks like. You want to buy a good quality olive oil. So a funny little story. When I was growing up, my mother, of course, we had olive oil all the time. It was more than just a staple in the kitchen. So my mama was one of these that you get a boo-boo, you clean it up, you put a little olive oil on it. You got a scar, you put a little olive oil on it. For you ladies that are expecting, when I was pregnant, my mama insisted that I massage my belly with a little bit of olive oil to keep from getting stretch marks. And just so you know, I never got stretch marks. It was used not just in the kitchen, it was used everywhere. And I love that we can take a step back in our crazy busy worlds right now and reach back and do what mom used to do, or grandma used to do, or maybe a great grandmother used to do. Let me get my blue lid. These. So these are packed in olive oil. Okay. So now we have our 2 trays. I'm going to stick them in the freezer, and then I'll be back to show you what they look like after they freeze. It's the next day, and we've got our basil out of the freezer. Remember, we put it in the ice trays, we put it with olive oil, and stuck it in there overnight to freeze. So I wanted to show you what it turned out. This is the ones that I tore the leaves, and we pressed them down in the ice tray container. I poured olive oil over them, and we covered them with the lid, and we stuck them in there. Now, I know you probably can't see it too good, but these are bigger chunks because I tore it instead of using the blender on this set. But if you want to use the blender and you want to do it the way we did it in the beginning, which was to put all the basil into the blender, pour the olive oil in it, blend it till it's mixed real good, then the texture is a little bit different. You can tell it's very little bitty, itty bitty pieces. And either way, you've got fresh basil to use whenever you need it. I love preserving it this way. It smells so good because when it's cold this winter, if I want to make fresh pesto, then I've got fresh basil. If I want to put it in stews or I want to make some beautiful pasta sauces with it, it's ready to go and it's fresh basil. Now, the other great thing is I grew it. I didn't use chemicals on it. I know it truly is as organic as it can be. And when I say I make things from scratch, it's from scratch. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again, friend, and have a very blessed day.